Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Salatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadan Nabil Ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Thank you, Brother Siraj, the chairman, my respected Sheikh, and brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I won't take much time because I also want to listen to the Sheikh. It is but I will give a brief a run with this economic view of the whole thing, and our Sheikh will talk from Islamic perspective. Okay. All right. See, the title given to us today is, will the world economy take its greatest plunge in this year? Right. My answer is Wallahu alam. Allah knows best what will happen next year. But there's always a cause-effect relationship between things, right? So the sabab wa musabab, so I'll take you through from an economic perspective what I perceive will be in next year, right? Alright, so you see this debt problem in the US, throughout the world. The largest, these are all in euros. See, the US debt is 10 billion euros. And you see Japan is 9 billion euros. Germany, which is in euro, 2 billion euros. And you see the debt until all of them. You look at US, Japan and Germany. These are the most industrialized nations in the world. Right now. America, Japan and Germany in Europe. Now why the highly industrialized nations are facing such a debt problem? That is the question. You see, if you notice in a world where people are able to produce a lot, like these people, if you produce a lot, you are intelligent, you should be the creditor in the system, not the debtor, right? So why are you the debtor in the nation, the largest? It's because of the way the monetary system is structured. What is the problem with the monetary system is that today we have basically it's not working. Basically, we have that, what do you call that, fiat monetary system, interest-based fiat monetary system. That means you all know it's paper currency, which is simply created out of nothing, right? All those things, right? So you see, the one I showed you is actually it is the government debt. But what matters in macroeconomics is actually the entire debt, the government debt plus the individual debt plus the business debt. We need to see what is the total debt of the system, right? So when you see the total debt, if you see like for countries, those in red color, you see Japan is red, Britain is red, and France and most of the countries in Europe, you see they are dark orange, isn't it? These countries have received over 400 of the GDP. GDP is what the country can produce totally in the one whole year. What is in total they can produce. So you have these countries 400 times. That means 4 times. The debt is 4 times what the country can produce. Look at Japan. Japan is the highest in the world, the total debt. So the total debt of Japan is 4 times it can produce as a whole nation. You see that? And you know that it carries compounded interest. So when debt carries compounded interest, it is an exponential function. So therefore the number grows exponentially day by day. So what happens when you have a system like this, the real economy, the economy that produces real things, it cannot match the rise of the debt. You follow, So the monetary system will not be able, the real sector will not be able to catch up with the monetary sector. That is the whole, what is happening in the global economy right now. Alright. Now you see this is the gold price. This is the gold price from the day we started talking about it. Nick Mahani is behind. She was with us from the time we were doing this. So you see, when we started to talk about the gold price at that time, it was only about 160 something per ounce. Now you know it is almost 1,700 plus already, right? So you see the gold price, it has gone to, do you see the exponential growth? Now the important thing is this, a lot of studies have shown that the gold, when you price relative to real things, the things that you produce, it is a constant. It's a constant. So if you see an exponential growth like this, what is it telling you? It is basically telling us that the dollar and the global economy is collapsing exponentially. That is the story gold is telling us, okay? The dollar and the global economy is collapsing exponentially. It is not the price of the gold is telling, it's telling the story of the dollar, okay? Alright, so you notice, look at this, So therefore, when an economy is unable to pay the debt, you see 400% Japan, right? Is stuck. America stuck. Japan, Europe also stuck, right? We call that in economics liquidity trap. The markets are all in liquidity trap. So when you have a liquidity trap, the way to solve this is through debt relief. You have to write off the debt. You have to lupuskan all the hutang lah, You have to write off the debt, at least the interest portion. The interest portion you got to write off. And you require people to pay only the principal portion. Now that is necessary if you want to jumpstart the economy again. I will come back to that. So when you don't do that, when people people and businesses default, then there will be a collapse of the monetary system. That's what we call the meltdown. A destruction of money takes place currently. So you see the America, and then you see Europe, and you also see Dubai, right? The Arab Spring also has had relation to that. And I think by next year and so on, we will be facing it. There is a domino effect that is taking place. So the Arab Spring is also because of a collapse of the monetary system. So it all started in 2007 when the subprime crisis started. You all are aware of that, right? So it's actually a destruction of the dollar. So the destruction of dollar spread the problem to the Europe. So you saw many banks in Europe also were collapsing, right? So now the Arab world, the Dubai and so on, that's what is happening. So what we are observing today is basically the collapse of the debt-based monetary system globally. The debt-based monetary system is what is collapsing globally. So if I can, that means, you see the major currencies that I showed you just now, the dollar, the yen and the euro, all of them will face problem now. Because these are the major countries with the major debt, isn't it? So when these countries collapse, so all these currencies will collapse. So this is what you're going to face. So when the major currencies collapse, then the question is, what will be this thing? People will lose confidence in all currencies. Because these are the major currencies, people put so much of faith in them, right? So when these currencies face problem and collapse, so people will just, will lose faith in all currencies. So now the alternative is, what will be the alternative will come into question. Now you see when things collapse like this, you see in a fiat monetary system, you all know what is the seigniorage, right? The seigniorage is, you see, money that is created out of nothing. When you print or when you create money through electronically, it is very easy, very cheap to create. So the free purchasing power that it carries with it, we call the seigniorage. The seigniorage will transfer wealth and power from individuals, companies, governments to people who create money. So this is a view from political economic perspective. You know that the domains of political economy is the struggle for wealth and power, right? So this monetary system will take away the wealth and power from individuals, businesses and governments, and it will enthrone this on people who create money, those who are given the right to create money. Basically today's the banking system, whoever the banking system, they will be the ones who become the creators. So you saw the statistics earlier. You saw America, Japan and all this, you saw they are becoming debtors, isn't it? But in accounting, you know that for every debtor there must be a creditor. So who are the creditors in the system? Those are the ones. So to whom you gave the right to create money out of nothing and give to people as a loan on a compounded basis. So they are the creditors in the system. Okay? So the whole world, individuals, businesses and governments will become indebted. You all will become indebted. The creditors will be the banking system. And slowly you will find the control over the resources of the nation and also the power will be enthroned on this group. Very easy. I don't think you need a PhD to understand this, right? Very simple logic, isn't it? Now you notice what happened in the European debt problem. You see, in the European debt problem, after the entire thing collapsing, you notice that they replaced one new Italy and Greece got new prime minister, right? So you notice the new prime minister is not elected, but you see he is a member of former Goldman Sachs international advisors. Look at Greece, also appointed. Who is this thing? He was the former governor of the bank. So you will find that this is what will happen. Ultimately, you will see that the people will be placed at the so our politicians all will have to give way slowly, you know. So the other politicians will come, and then they will put an austerity plan on you. You have to, you know, you have to work and work and work. You become slaves, and they'll put high taxations, and you will become austerity plan and so on. Basically, you will do a life of slaves. That's what will happen in this monetary system. Go ahead on the next. So you see, to solve the European problem, you see, German Chancellor Angela is calling for fiscal union. You see, the euro is a monetary union. Then you see, with the monetary union alone, you cannot go on. You see a lot of problems, isn't it? It's also because of the Sinoraj. So you need a fiscal union. That means the governments, when they want to do the budgeting, they got to be united. That's what I mean by fiscal union. So when you have a fiscal union like that and a monetary union, basically you become a one country, one nation. You see that? So the local politicians will lose power after that. You'll become, you just follow whatever orders being given to you. You get it, huh? So this is what it is. It's going for fiscal union, and I say this is the path to the one world government. You notice in the Arab world, what is happening? It is one by one the leaders' collapse is creating a vacuum in leadership, isn't it? Right? So it creates vacuum in leadership, and here you will see that the formation of a kind of one world government. So you need to see the monetary system with global politics. Then you see what is happening. Okay. So if you ask me what needs to be done for this thing, I've got a number of things. I put the most important ones. The first thing is you got to give the system a write-off, at least the interest portion. That's what the Quran says in the Quran says. For that, you need to write off all the riba and the interest portions. You are entitled to your principal, right? But unfortunately, in the today's system, the principal is also created out of nothing, right now. So that's the reason why I put number one, you nationalize the banks. So you nationalize banks like China, India and many other countries like Brazil and so on. So when you pay back the principal, you pay back to the nationalized bank. So that means the bank that belongs to the government, because the government represents the people. But today's banks are all private. We have given them the right to create money, and then they're just privately creating the money and giving it to you as loan on a compounded basis. You see? The next is, of course, we have to eliminate riba after that. It is the entire cost of the whole thing is actually riba. You know, you can trace riba to almost everything: the crime levels, the climate change, you know, the fall in the moral of the people. You can trace it back to riba. You see, so you need to eliminate riba and institute real money system. So real money systems are systems that take real things as money. So that's why we are saying go back to gold, silver, and anything that's real. The hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you remember, gold for gold, silver for silver, wheat for wheat, barley for barley, salt for salt, right? So all these are commodities that can play the role of money as a measure of value. This is what is missing in the global monetary system. Measure of value. We have